Well, hi there. Sorry for the awful lighting we have today, but that's what we're dealing with. I am not at my normal place, and so we are doing this live from a new location. I am just checking to make sure that we are live on Facebook. It appears we are. Maybe. Well, looks like we are. Okay, so I am Sunny Brigham, for those of you who have never seen me or met me before, and I'm one of the supervisors here at the Nutrition Herbal Collective. And today we are going to briefly talk about what my favorite study resources are for the CNS prep or the CNS exam. So we have the next iteration of the CNS exam is coming up here in December. The deadline for application and everything needs to be in by October the 15th. So if you haven't applied yet and you want to take it, we are coming up on that deadline quickly. And if you have already applied and now you're deep into studying, then this is the video for you. So there is a lot of study material. There's a lot of things out there that you can utilize to study for the CNS exam. And in my opinion, it can be extremely overwhelming. I think there's a lot of stuff out there, and it makes it really difficult to try to hone in on what you should be studying because, I mean, there's a lot when it comes to nutrition as to what to study or what you think you need to know about the exam. And you're going to get 200 questions, and you don't know where these 200 questions are going to come from. Of all the things in the realm of nutrition, those questions could come from anywhere. So it makes it really difficult to understand what you should study or where you should spend your time studying or what you should focus on. And so I want to talk about the things that I think are most helpful or what I have seen to be most helpful based off of previous iterations of the CNS prep course that we do and the feedback that I've received from individuals that have successfully passed the exam. So I will share with you, and some of these I used when I studied for it, many years ago. It's not that long ago. So let's start with my most favorite one, and I'm going to share my screen so that, let me get to this tab first, so that you all can see what I'm talking about, and you can down names and titles if you need to. So this is probably my absolute hand-down favorite CNS study resource because, we're going to talk about micronutrients and how to study effectively for micronutrients next month on our live in November. But this one, Bergerstein's Handbook of Nutrition, so it's micronutrients and the prevention of therapy of disease, is probably my most favorite way to study micronutrients. It's also one of my favorite study items for the CNS exam. So you can purchase this book. I, several years ago, bought it used off of Amazon for a couple of dollars, and it was amazing. It really breaks down the nutrients very easy in a very easy to ingest manner. You can get it for free. If you're if you are enrolled in our CNS prep course, you have this. It is in module 1, lesson 4. It is a free download to this book. You can find it on the internet for free as well. But it's a really easy and great way to study for micronutrients, but micronutrients are an integral part of the CNS exam. So it's really important that you have a really strong understanding of micronutrients going into the exam in December. And so this book, in my opinion, is a really great way to break down those micronutrients to help you have a better understanding of them, how they interact with each other. There's a table in the back. Well, there's 200 something pages here, but in the back there is a table on some drug nutrient interactions, but it's just, in my opinion, it's just laid out very easily in a very easy to absorb manner. So that's my first favorite study item. Let me move this bar out of the way so I can see, and I will show you my second. So my second is Medical Nutrition and Disease, a Case-Based Approach. People will call this the HARC text because Lisa HARC is one of the authors. There's several authors, but people refer to it as the HARC text because she's the first author. This is also a really great study material or study item. It's not free. You can get it Kindle, you can buy it used. But what I like about it is it goes over case studies. So case studies are really important when studying for the CNS exam, because if you can establish the nutrition care process for an individual from start to finish, you have demonstrated you have a really good understanding of how the body works, how nutrients interact in the body, how food supports specific disease in the medical nutrition therapy process, and how you implement that with behavior modification and putting it into practice. So if you can work through case studies, which we include abundance of them in our CNS test prep course, but if you can understand case studies and how to implement the nutrition care process into those case studies, that goes a long way when you're studying for the CNS exam. So this is a really great item. If it's not something that you have and you are studying for the CNS exam, this is something I definitely would recommend that you save up or borrow somebody's or purchase a used copy, or maybe you already have it and didn't really know what you should be doing with it. This is a great resource to use when studying for the exam. So the third study item that I like, and this one is free. So this is, and you can see the website here, it's practicequiz.com, CNS-nutrition-specialist-exam-prep. So it's a really, really long slug here. But I think this is a really great resource. And when you come to this website, this is what you're going to focus on, is this free daily question. So what this is you can sign up to receive a free daily CNS test prep question. And you put in your email address, and every day you will get a test question in your inbox. Some of these questions are going to be really easy, and you're going to think, oh yeah, I've got this, I'm going to rock this exam. And some of these are going to make you question whether or not you've ever learned any of this ever in your life. Those are the questions that you want to focus on, the ones that make you think, did I learn anything at school at all? Those are the questions that you really want to focus on. You want to dive deep into the research on them to understand the mechanisms of action, what makes that answer the way that it did, and how you can incorporate that into your larger focus of study. So getting questions wrong, I think, is an important part of the learning process. So some people might get a little upset, or they might feel like they're learning nothing at all, or very defeated. I don't know where to start or what I should do. Those wrong questions are telling you exactly what you should be focusing on and studying. So the more wrong questions you get, in my opinion, that's better, because then you know this is where I need to focus my study. If you're getting all the questions right, what do you study? It's hard to know because you're doing well on the questions. Maybe you don't need to study. Maybe it boosts your confidence so much that you're thinking, I'm going to ace this. But if you get questions wrong, that tells you exactly where you need to study. It helps you hone in your focus, so you're not thinking, I need to do this, and I need to do this, and I need to focus here. It tells you those wrong questions tell you exactly what you need to study. So in my opinion, getting questions wrong is a really great thing to help you focus your study. So those are three of my favorite. And then obviously the last one that I think is really important, that's probably my favorite, is the CNS test prep course that we created at the Nutrition and Herbal Collective. So if you haven't enrolled in that course, it's probably my favorite because it helps you hone in on what you should study. There are things that I go over in the course that I don't spend a whole lot of time on. And the reason that I don't spend a whole lot of time on them is because they're not super important pieces of information that are going to make or break the exam for you. There are parts that I spend a lot of time on. Those are the parts that you want to spend a little bit more time studying and honing your knowledge and really making sure that you have a solid foundation and understanding of those questions or those pieces of information that are popping up. Okay, so that's it. So Bergerstein's Handbook for Nutrition, Medical Nutrition and Disease, a case-based approach, study.com for their daily question, and then the CNS test prep course. So take a deep breath. We are heading into exam season. At this point, you should be studying maybe 4 to 5 hours per week. Hopefully you're part of a study group and you're meeting with your study group every week. You want to have all of the information studied by the end of November so that in December, you are not introducing any new information. You are solidifying the information that you've already learned. So we don't want to introduce new information in December. We want to solidify what we have already learned. So get that stuff implemented into our brain so that when we go into the test, we can remember it. And let's not study right up until the moment that you take the test. We want to take a day or two off to help calm the mind, do some self-care, focus on some anti-anxiety things. If you have some test anxiety, we want to focus on some meditation, some self-care, some relaxation. If you don't know it in that day or so before the exam, you're probably not going to know it when you go into the exam. We need a little bit longer to solidify that information into our brain. Okay, so those are my favorites. Let me know what your favorites are because everybody has different favorites. Those are the ones that I use, and I would love to hear what you use. And I'll see you around. Bye.